This session is going to be moderated on stage by Narendra M., former CMD Indian Overseas Bank. A big round of applause for our moderator, please, ladies and gentlemen. And to join him on stage, we have with us today Nikhil Bandi, CIO, CTO, and CDO, APAC Financial Services. We have with us today Padma Bhushan Bahadure, CTO, NUC FDC. We also have with us today Mr. R. Shankar, Independent Director and Chairman, Audit Committee of the Board, and Mr. O'Neill Noon, CIO, Bassein Catholic Cooperative Bank. Can I have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all our speakers as I request them on stage, please. Can I have all our speakers over here on stage, please? And ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment when they come up over here on stage. This is the moment you need to truly appreciate and celebrate their presence over here. So thank you so much. Bahut shukriya to join us over here. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Pleasure. Thank you, sir. Pleasure to have you. Thank you, sir. Pleasure to have you over here. Can I have mics for all of them, please? Do we have mics for all of them? Shukriya. Like I always like to say this, I know your work does a lot of talking and work speaks loud, but then we need the voices to also reach the people at the back. So can we just do a quick mic check with all of them over here? All the mics are on. Please do a mic check for our audience, sir.
Hello.
All right, so the stage is set, ladies and gentlemen. The panel is ready, and over to you. And if we have any timer reference for our audience, then can we please put that timer as well so that our moderator and our speakers are aware about the time proceedings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Good afternoon to all of you. And you had a very good presentation by our BCG lead IT, Gupta ji. And that has given the overall what you call architectural in terms of the AI, and also he has given that what type of use case scenario in different scenario can be done, and what type of AI agents when you are taking the help in different level, in the initial maybe outside the system, then within the organization, third specialist AI. So in a way. And also, finally, he has given what are the risks which are hidden in AI. So that is the most important aspect also. And that is the one regulators also, when they use AI in a very positive way, in terms of their supervision and control, in their own macro and micro aspect of supervision, they have also now, of course, they have also gone in terms of going to the fraud prevention and fraud detection, and the overall analyzing, like all of you heard a lot of mule accounts or what you call. In that accounts, outsiders are using to use the money laundering and other things. And these accounts have become a source for them. So in terms of that, by seeing that entire integrating the banking system transaction, they are able to prevent fraud. And of course, they are also starting through AI a separate organization for fraud prevention. So in a way, AI is already there. AI is required also. And AI has a very positive opportunities and business proposition. At the same time, we have to see. And one thing, what are the other aspects? But one thing I am seeing is, AI is created by human intelligence only. And there is a little fear there with this. Are we likely to neglect the human capital and we don't take care of them? That is where the human aspect of AI innovation. And, And human is also is having the what you call certain culture and identity of the organization. This identity of organization cannot be taken by AI. It has to be from the human aspect, because they are the front line or the personal touch which can be given only by the human capital. So how are you balancing between this human touch and the human aspect of the organization, and how that could be enabled through the AI? That is the most important. So the leaders have a responsibility. You mentioned also the leaders have a responsibility that these AIs are built on ethical ground, ethical basis. And secondly, I am always the opinion that unless your data are what you call data integrity and data adequacy, that is very important. If you do not have the enough data, then AI built on half-hearted data can give you, take it to anywhere. So that is where there are RBI has also issued. What are the bias by which you do something, and it may go against the customers. So of course I don't wish to come in your area. So what I first want you to, each one, of course he has mentioned the name, you could give a few introduction of you and what are the areas you are looking, and on the theme of the overall, you please talk around 5 minutes. Yes, Shankar.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Narendra. So, in my career of the past 3 decades in the banking and financial services space, I've worked across the entire spectrum of commercial banking, non-banking financial services. I've been onto the technology side of banking, though very nascent, because during the time when I was there in the technology, there was no artificial intelligence, right? So after that, I have used to combine both the technology and the domain expertise that I have gained across the consulting space, both in India as well as abroad, where I've been an NRI for almost over a decade now. Now, again, whatever best practices or the global exposure that I have gained over the past decade or more, I'm trying to plow back and share it for the benefit of our own country and for our own citizens. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I will come back to you on that main theme because the time is only 30 minutes. Yes, sir.
Thank you once again. I'm Nikhil Bandi. I'm Chief of Technology and Digital for APAC Finance, which is into secured micro enterprise lending across rural India, or we call it Bharat. If I would say in my 25 plus years of work experience, I have made speeches, was part of panel multiple times across at least the last 1 decade. And every time I have been very confident in terms of how any new technology has to be embraced. It has to be contextual with the industry in which you are. It has to be with the right balance in terms of how you would see the return on investment. But let me tell you, last 1 year has been a real revolution, even in my own thought process. Whatever I think I've, in 2017-18, one of my speeches I did mention that by 2030, we will be a different world. But I think I was wrong. In 2025, I see ourselves to be very, very different. And as an organization, when Anuj was mentioning about the coding technology, so now everybody in the organization, even the youngsters, they're talking about all Replit and Cursor and other things. And the way financial industry and the way the tech industry is changing, I think there's a lot to learn for people who are like 25, 30, 35 years experience as well. Thank you.
Yeah, very glad to hear that we agree that we have to be dynamic in our knowledge seeking on a daily basis, in a view that the whole thing globally is changing so fast. So very nice. And I would like to hear these technology, how are they in the microfinance later. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Narendra. My name is Onil Nunes, and I think I'm only one of those representatives from cooperative banks out here. I don't know how many participants around here. I've come with more of a technology background than banking. I'm just new to banking, just 5 years in a bank. But I've been playing a major role in cooperative banking sector in terms of technology adoption. Technology adoption in cooperative banks is really low, and that's where I was given up this challenge of upgrading our bank where I work for to do digital transformation and bring in more robust technologies. Like as we sit here, probably our bank is 107 years old and never done DR drills kind of thing. Yesterday night we have started the DR drill, all our branches and everything is on DR. And
Give
I'm
a big
sitting
clap.
here.
A cooperative bank thinking on AI and implementing also.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, and for us, that was a major challenging thing because it was not just a DR drill with CBS, but the entire digital channels and everything moved. Probably a very rare thing in a cooperative banks. So trying to, bring in more technology, AI, ML, all those things in cooperative sector. A
Correct.
very niche area of banking in cooperative, but that's what I'm trying to do now. Thank you.
Very glad to hear. So, Gandhi ji, ये microfinance sector में, in terms of AI application and AI agent, and particularly to arrive at the credit standards, in arriving at the repayment capability, and in terms of monitoring, credit monitoring, and credit follow-up, and ensuring repayment, because currently microfinance sector has been faced with a lot of challenges. At the same time, that is where the inclusive banking, access to credit, all have to happen. So from the AI perspective, what are the application you are planning in your organization as a leader?
Sure. So I'll just see the last 3-4 years of journey where we have seen the face of AI in different formats. And while every organization, let it be so we do micro enterprise lending. We are not a microfinance JLG kind of a company. So we do assess the customers who are doing different kind of businesses in rural India. This is a very different assessment than a standard assessment of a employee or a salaried person. When you see this in past, everybody has started thinking of models, machine learning models, and then create an application scorecard to assess the customer. This we thought is going to be the right way moving forward. And similarly, multiple other areas where there is a propensity of a lead getting converted into a login and a business. Similarly, a propensity of default of a customer basis is repayments behavior. But I think last 1 year, as I was mentioning, this entire thing is being revolutionized so well that my new initiatives are around areas where when a credit assessor is going to go and talk to a customer, at the same time, there are real-time SLMs, not the LLMs where the data is going to be outside, but the real-time SLMs which are going to understand the conversation, make meaningful outcome out of that conversation, give intermediate nudges to the credit assessor saying that this is something which you should ask additionally, or this is something which is not going wrong. And the intent would be to even give a nudge that no point in wasting time with this particular customer, drop, or I think you can move forward and execute. So these are the areas when it's all about the credit assessment. Similarly, there are areas where the sales folks, the sales teams, how they are going to take their...
You are equipping with them.
That's right. How they should take the conversation forward. What are the things they are doing right, wrong? Those are the things the Gen AI now overlapped with agentic AI are the use cases which we are currently into the state of conceiving the how this is going to move forward. But as I mentioned earlier, that now none of the programs or projects for companies like any of the banks and NBFCs would be a 2-year or 2.5-year program. Everything will just narrow down to a 2-month, 3-month, 4-month program in which we will get a right outcome. Our tech teams are also well equipped, and our business teams as well, is what we see.
So Neil, hai na? O'Neill, yes. So O'Neill, that I was always faced with, like, no, in the current scenario, each one will provide a lot of models. And because even our main presenter, he is also developing 4-5 products. So many people will go on developing on the main theme of making AI as the enabler. So when as a cooperative bank, you said now we have implemented something. Is it internally developed, or how are you selecting as a technology specialist whom to select, whom to get into your main core frame, and what are the risk in terms of that enabling that, and how your internal team takes an external program These are what are your challenges in that?
One of the major challenges with cooperative banks is the resources, technical skill resources. So typically, cooperative banks or
So
smaller.
that time our person like BCG will come into play.
Yeah. uh, More than that, we typically follow the larger commercial banks' practices.
Yeah, you keep them as a role
Because,
model.
yeah, we sort of take references from them as to what practices they have, what are the governance models they have created around it,
Correct.
what are the risk framework they have around those AI models. So we try to benchmark, uh, you know, the technologies adopted, especially the modern technologies. Because when we talk of AI, there are a lot of gray areas still in terms of the bias part, which you mentioned, uh, then the governance area,
Correct.
the accountability is a big challenge as to if there's a output that comes in out of AI, who would be accountable for that
Correct.
data? And then probably explaining the result that's coming out of. Many a times, those are black boxes. We don't know what gets processed and something comes out. And a human may not be able to give a rationale as to why this result. Okay, so there's a lot of ambiguity around that area. So typically we try to do references out of larger
So
commercials.
the public sector bank or some of
Yes.
them where it is a use case scenario and you have some model to
Yes.
look at part and also take their feedback, that becomes a reference. But my point is in the board level, there are different types of board members.
Correct.
How are their, when the risk management came or your other areas of guidelines related to KYC, anti-money laundering, so many issues. There will be a Reserve Bank person, there may be a government nominee, there may be a market-related expert and all. So how do we get those leaders accepting this? Yes, sir. Bataiye, one of you, yes.
So,
Because later I am going to ask him on the international. He was working. Yes.
from a cooperative bank sector, that's a big challenge. See, in a cooperative bank sector, you don't have professional directors on the board.
Correct.
Okay, so many a times, while we are there to give them guidance and all, we do take references of consultants and, larger banks.
So they will
CROs.
make a presentation to the board. And
Absolutely, yeah. So that plays a role. Many times we invite board directors from larger banks also to come over.
Come and,
yeah,
present.
or we go there and take a reference
Okay,
on
please,
ideas. From
Andiji.
In NBFCs, new age NBFCs as well as banks, it's a little different. So the board is
Professionals.
well aware of
Yes.
the potential. The board is embracing artificial intelligence to the extent which is being used globally. They do have their associated checks and balances in terms of how the data encapsulation is going to happen, but at the same time, they are gung-ho. So what we have experienced, and I'm sure some of my other colleagues here who have also experienced, that board itself asks the questions as to what is going to be a strategic roadmap for embracing artificial intelligence and be ahead in this particular game to see that there is a right outcome for organizations like us. So I would say that's a very, very positive side of board contribution.
Very good. That's what sometimes I believe not only experts asking questions who are already knowing, a layman's question is also very difficult to answer. Correct, no?
Absolutely.
How many of you agree with that question here? Yes. 2. Very good. 3. So, in always our team, there should be one person who is outside the technological, but a businessman, means business head, or somebody of the risk head. So, you have a multiple experts committee, and you need to face them because it is always then your technology will become superior, always, and its application will purposeful and meaningful. I will come back to you also some questions. Now, Mr. Shankar, Standard Chartered Bank you must have worked.
Yes.
And you have worked in global. Generally, whether Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC or Citi, they have their own package, which is globally applicable. And of course, you also worked globally. Now, in terms of the new artificial intelligence, machine learning, or in terms of the what you call cloud computing or whatever the latest emerging technology, including in artificial intelligence, Gen AI and all, even in your period, some you would have seen, not much, but from the global, what are the best practices and how they have been going and how they are taking very futuristic technology in this area. That's why I want to have your opinion.
Sure, Dr. Narendra. So what I have essentially seen over the past decade, because it was exactly during that time when the technology sector actually started to evolve, actually. Until that point of time, it was more routine or mechanical in nature, where it was all human-driven and all that. So the non-human intervention started coming into play perhaps more actively over the last 6-7 years, but over the past decade or so, we were able to see a semblance of it coming in, actually. So now coming to your point, how this was driven through the organization. Now, for example, it depends on what kind of organization it is. For example, if it is a locally incorporated entity, which does not have a lot of global presence, then it's a case of, it's basically a promoter's call of how to diversify the board and how to bring in the right skills or right mix of balanced people to bring in that expertise so that they can percolate it downwards to the executive committee of the board, then downwards to the heads of the management and all of that, and to the larger employee base.
And in the Reserve Bank now, no,
Yes.
there is a IT strategy committee and
Yes.
IT steering committee.
Yes.
These are compulsory for
Mandate.
the regulated entities. And one is their own special multi-department people will be there.
Yes.
And they can also take external persons as the, like, when we do recovery in the bank, we have an external judge or somebody to see the legal aspect. Same way, you need to draw people from the market who can be on your advisory role. Now, coming to Mr. Gandhiji, that the new guidelines are coming. One is now ESG. Of course, you may not be in, of course, but limitedly it is all applicable. So the base scenario, enhanced scenario, then you have to assess the your climate risk in credit, in operations, in market risk, in everywhere, and that the entire scenario of climate, then you may be asked to apply capital for that also. That will be coming. Now, same way, so many other area. So, in the use case or the market, your information, how AI can enable. I have a lot of technology companies who are enabling business responsibility and reporting as per the SEBI requirement, all listed company, including banks. So, you have, what are the various use case scenario on the new area of ESG, governance, fraud protection, or in terms of, the customer service, or is it a front end, back end, or mid-level risk management? In all areas, some knowledge has to be given to our audience.
Sure. So this is an area where one thing I would like to thank RBI and its policies, that they have given a master direction in such a good manner.
Yes.
That anybody who wants to embrace it with their letter as well as spirit will have a very good direction as to where we would want to go. As an organization, the first part which RBI did was to separate the technology function from the risk and the associated, the CISO function, and those become a part of an independent risk. So they see the governance, they see the security, they see the associated aspects. So when you say a climate or how you are going to take care of your infrastructure, how you are going to do a green disposition, so all those things are very well articulated in the direction. And when we as an organization, we just follow certain mechanism there, I think just by the virtue of the organization structure itself, we have certain initiatives which comes in place. So security, certainly we have encapsulation, separation of data, and all those things, they come into picture. When it comes to the resilience part of it and the cyber risk, so resilience towards cyber risk part, I think that those are the areas where we are taking our right steps just to cover the letter and spirit part of RBI's master direction. While my always my bent is more towards what is the new innovation which is happening towards the way ease of doing business for our customers. This is an area which balances the risk and the governance. It
Very
balances
good.
the overall.
So even in cooperative bank, the compliance is a very important. And you may be not only guided by the Reserve Bank compliance, you are also sometimes comply by the MCA, corporate, or your own cooperative society, so many acts. Now, how this compliance can be made easy through AI? Because in a board now, if I am sitting, I will say all tick-based compliance I will not accept. It has to come from the system. So how are you?
So you rightly said. I think one of the biggest compliance part is coming from RBI, and now they have started something called IT examination.
Correct.
Okay, so following the cyber security framework, for example, has become a big task right now. We recently deployed one tool, AI-based tool, which helps us in monitoring our compliances.
Oh,
Yeah, so what it does is simply it pulls in all the requirements for urban cooperative banks from the compliance perspective. Then it has pulled up what is our state as of now and what are the gaps between the requirement from master directions, where we stand, and what should be our next step in terms of achieving those compliances. And this is fully driven by AI. The tool, of course, it's not built by us, it's sourced from outside.
very appreciable.
Yeah, and it's pretty accurate and helps us, achieve those compliances faster than what used to do manually earlier. And that is one area where we have been using AI. We did try using AI for our loan department to verify documents. A lot of forged documents come in because normally when loan applications come in, originals are not submitted. Original comes
इनका
later.
वो face related KYC also very useful.
Yeah, so
Particularly your micro.
That's right, and we get. In fact, some of these APIs are so
Sorry,
mature.
you will
Very
continue.
well.
Yeah.
yeah. We didn't actually achieve much success in that because the morphed PAN cards and morphed Aadhaar cards failed. So what they used to do is you would have a morphed PAN card, photocopy it, and submit. So AI was not able to detect that. So there were certain challenges.
तो
I don't know.
अनुज जी आपसे पूछने का था इसका बारे में अभी ऑफ कोर्स दे विल बी आल्सो बट ये देखिए लाइव केस में ये आपका एआई यूज में नहीं आया इसके लिए क्या सॉल्यूशन क्या है एक माइक दे सकते हैं उनको या और आप भी आइए नहीं तो बैठिए
No, there are solutions. I think what
Yes.
Anuj, I'll just add to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So one part is morphing that image, but what the AI holistically does is it will take that information, the OCR information out of it, go validate it against. So if it's a PAN, validate against NSDL and give. So that's how we do all the triangulation check and then throw it. So you have to
Validation,
just see,
very important.
you have to just see all the three aspects.
And
execute.
one area that is where RBI is saying that the model risk, where every model is built on assumptions. And assumptions have to be constantly again revived, means revision. And you need CRISIL or some experts, because they have a higher data, they have to vet your model. Otherwise, RBI will also find fault. So, otherwise, on the mere that compliance, if somebody goes a business, you are doomed.
Absolutely.
So that is a very important point you have brought in the discussion. Now, that's one data protection and data privacy act is coming. So I am not sure how the banks are completely prepared, or NBFC or financial institution, insurance, in terms of these. Now, aggregator, one model is there where you again give your consent. But the consent is specific. Once that consent is already completed, it has to be back to the customer. But that consent used as a general consent and it is being misused tomorrow because the fine is 250 crores. And it is already going to come. So you have some knowledge on the Shankarji?
Yes. So, in fact, to a certain extent, I mean, though not maybe holistically, but to a certain extent, I can definitely say that as far as the process of KYC validation is concerned, because the data compromise or the data privacy issues primarily emanate from the customer static data, basically. So, when that happens, so it is very important that the pipe through which such kinds of validation happens. It could be the eKYC channel, or it could be even physical verification also. Whichever mode it is, I think, I mean, if it is physical, it's all the more, it assumes all the more importance to ensure that who is going for the KYC validation. It could be a verifier who is an outsourced person. He need not be an employee of the bank also. But in that case, what are the SLAs between the outsourcing agency and the bank concerned? So all these things will come into play.
Because the cyber security is also very important. What happens? Your employees' data are with you, and along with employees' data, you take much of their full knowledge. Now, in one organization, entire that employees' data was put on general, what you call outside, or otherwise, these data when they phishing and attack, they will come backside and negotiate some price with you. Then they don't publish. Otherwise, they publish. So this customer data is important, employees' data is important, your vendors' data is important. In terms of that, it is a onerous responsibility. So that situation is going to come. So people like our all these experts have to come with the guideline of the AI and some other model by which they should make your work easier. In a way, at the same time, you have to have your own intelligence. So the question is here now, coming to that will be a very big aspect, but आप कुछ बताने का सर आपका कुछ इस एरिया में?
I'm saying when people talk about responsible AI, it's a very vast word in itself, and that covers the aspect of DPDP, the consent-based data sharing. So those are the things which organization have started working. So all of our organization have started working towards it. But if somebody would want to claim that we are completely DPDP compliant, I think they are overstating, because the act is, the guidelines are clear, but the implementation has multiple
because
areas.
As an individual, I can sue you and also go to any extent. But the way in which हमारा मोबाइल आज का दिन में किधर किधर पहुंचता है, सपोज ये इवेंट में आया है, it is only for the purpose of entry to this program, that goes to so many places, not by the event organizer. I'm just joking in the way, this way, but the whole our India, in terms of the all responsible organizations will have to understand how this data privacy and data protection is going to come heavily. One is corporate approval, another is individual consent. Both will have to be enabled. So that is where we need to, so we will come to intelligence finance. Yes, ab ho gaya AI. So intelligence finance to cultural shift. So on this particular, like, no, that our mere Me Too products may not be able to meet the customer expectation. But at the same time, innovation for the sake of innovation, sometimes customer may not take that as a real thing. So how are you going to do your innovation, creativity, your branding, your patent, so many things you have to do. And that can be enabled through the technology, or it can be through enabled by your people. So what are the balance between these? One question first I asked, kindly now answer 2-3 minutes each. Yes.
Sure. So I'll go with that. So basically, I think that's the responsibility which actually flows from the board level, where actually the board members proactively engage with external consultants, could be internal experts, etc. And they actually lay down the policies very, very clearly on how it is to be cascaded below. So once that happens means, and there has to be a lot of awareness sessions also conducted among the larger employee base, because it is the frontline employees who are ultimately interacting with the customers, and not at the people sitting at the board level or the management level. So I think that assumes a lot of importance.
Yes, please.
Sure. I think, as you touched upon, intelligent financing.
Yes.
There are two aspects of intelligent financing which organizations like ours generally pick up. The first is in terms of what kind of prospects we would want to convert into customers. Second part is the credit worthiness now in its holistic terms. So not just the capacity to pay, the intention to pay, and the during the conversation to understand is the end use, exactly the end use which this person wants, as well as the social persona of the person. So all those four things put together with the power of generative AI and I won't say as much LLMs, but SLMs as well, to find and bring the right outcome, as a responsible financier. So that's what we are. We have already initiated our initiative. I'm pretty much sure any company which is on its already started the AI journey, these are the use cases when it comes to responsible lending.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
In our case, it's a little different. Our challenges are more about education, training, and adoption. Adoption not adoption not just by our employees, but also our customers. Okay, so a lot of efforts go in adoption, training, and then the adoption area. And of course, there's a lot of support from the board for such initiatives as well, where we do engage a lot of agencies to help us in that area. That's how we go.
So coming arising of that, generally my feeling, my experience, that one is as in public sector particularly, suppose these things have changed now. Now it is fully, they are equivalent to private sector or even beyond the private sector. Take for example State Bank itself, the YONO or the Bob World. So in every area they have improved. And during COVID, State Bank did all the application through online completely. Today digital lending has become very good. But only sometimes, as you rightly said, if you spend a lot of money, these things don't come cheap. It is like a solar. Your initial investment is very high. Your repetitive benefits are over a period of time. So even in these things, those who are newcomers in the technology, those who have done, they will charge hefty because they need more premium. And those who are adapted also, they will get faster the progress. But sometimes I am always investment and the rate of return, there will be some difference. So iska, because I will be questioned by the board. आपने ये सब किया, अल्टीमेटली क्या बेनिफिट आया, क्या एफिशिएंसी गेन आया, क्या मेरा मार्जिन इंप्रूव हो गया, मेरा रिटर्न ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट, सो उसमें कैसा आप फेस करते हैं?
I think the most important thing is the outcome metric.
You mentioned that outcome.
Yeah, has to be defined when you are taking an initiative. But my belief, and I think others can validate, is that this journey of agentic AI, especially the ones Zrika explained as well, is going to get more and more commoditized. We are going to see, for the common use cases, we are going to see a very deep cost reduction over a period of time. When it gets matured, obviously the early movers will get early advantages. But my belief is that the maturity of this is going to happen within next 18 months.
And yes, and any new things will not carry the same cost as they go forward. बाद में तो इतना down हो जाएगा. In telecommunication, what did happen? So now I am leaving to few questions here. Anybody has any question here? आपका response मांगता है. What is the, Mr. Gupta ji, आपका, what are the areas we have not covered, or where are you want to have any question to the our speakers? Yeah, उनको mic है? You mic.
I have a mic.
Please.
We spoke of DPDP and then
Yes.
the IP that our own data brings. AI as compute is easy to do, but AI with data, how do you see that being embraced by the organization? Because I am seeing a lot of resistance, naturally so, but how do you bridge that?
So you have hit it hard. This is one of the biggest challenge because the companies which have their own models for underwriting, let's say for us it is more underwriting is most contextual. We do not want our models to be public, and this is exactly a bank would not want its models to be public, and that's why everybody is hesitant to move to a LLM to take the benefit of the model, because others are going to get the benefit of your data and build their own model. So it's on companies, if they have appetite to have such a large compute and they can have own encapsulated model generation, or otherwise they can have their small SLMs, build their use cases for their defined metrics and ride this journey till the time the compute becomes cheaper. That's the way we look at it and our board looks at it.
Yeah. Now, anybody else? Anybody? Please, udhar mic dena. Very good.
Yeah. So how you guys taking up the traditional AI LLMs at point of time? It's a black box, and versus explainable AI models. So how can the organizations are adopting those?
Yeah, please. Any use cases on, please. You understood his question?
So you are saying the black box AI versus explainable AI,
Yeah, correct.
right? How organization is embracing the explainable AI?
So how these organizations are adapting these paths? So today's
Adapting.
LM, most of the LLMs are the black box LLM. So how they are moving towards explainable AI?
Okay. What we have seen so far are black box. But when it is LLM or SLMs which are implemented in an organization for an organization, where one of the point which was mentioned is RBI also wants that when there is a model which is created, what is the base of the model, or how you are proving that that model is right and this is the right outcome when you are generating a, let's say, a CAM for a customer. This is obviously my view, and Anuj, if you would want to add, you can add as well. The organization's AI is going to be explained, and that's the one which explainable AI is the one which is going to be embraced and is going to be the one which will be certified by the auditors and the regulators. And that's how the organization, when the LLMs become cheaper, it is going to be easier for them to embrace. That's the way I look at it. If you would want to add.
Yeah.
So the explainability of AI can be compared to the ML models. It's just a natural extension of ML, where generative is the addition on top of ML. So you can compare it to ML in a way, if your ML model input and output was explainable, which we are currently using in terms of the gradient when you draw thresholds on the output. Same way you can say, you can use it in two ways. For factual inferencing, there is no explainability required. You are looking at a face and you are asking whether the face matches another ID card or something. For inferencing, if you are using AI, you will have to ask the AI model itself to say that, give out the reasoning, and then you have to audit it or store it for your records. Then you will have an HIL or human in loop, which sees that. Over time, you can then context bound it to say you can use only these set of parameters, nothing else.
Okay. So now, AI, please.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I would like to understand, any technology has a cost. Now, large bank has certain budget, cost for the technology. Now, how do you look at, the mid-sized bank or maybe, a bank like Basin Catholic Cooperative Bank, to match the budget, for the AI?
Yeah, right. So as I said earlier, we typically look at references and specific deployments. I can't risk today to have full-fledged AI for every part of my banking out here. I don't have a proper governance model yet, no risk framework for AI yet. So in this situation, I would only go for AI models which are non-financial ones. Decision making in non-financial. The basic thing where I typically use on financial decision making is in the what do you call it? The recommendation engine for LOS. That's it. Beyond that, I really don't give out budgets on financial decision-making AIs or anything bigger than that. So we keep it low, and we'll wait for the prices to come down, the budgets, so it will fit into our budgets. Right, so not much of AI adoption in small banks as yet from our sides, banks at least I have seen in the market. There are very few AI engines that are being deployed basically in small areas like compliance, recommendation
Gandhi, you
engine,
want to answer?
risk-based,
Please.
risk-based.
We'll after, yeah, Gandhiji.
So
after.
I'll just add. So first of all, my name is Nikhil Bandi. So Bandi, it is spelled as Bandi.
Ah.
One of the things which you can try is there are multiple young companies, AI companies, which have this mechanism of fitting your use cases with your kind of budgets. And that's what smaller cooperative banks and smaller, younger NBFCs.
The
or
governing
fintechs.
principles of the certain banks, which are initiated by the board, in your AI adoption, those areas you have to keep in mind. That's what he said. Internal guidelines, internal principles, internal that, coupled with the external package.
Yeah, but for us in a small bank, like where we don't have strong security and CISO practice and compliance practice, adopting AI at that fast pace
It will
would
not
be
be
risky.
possible.
It would be risky.
So one matter, what I was telling is here, if they're all, most of the fintech, including our Jerika ji and all, there is a sound box by the Reserve Bank, where innovation sound box, where no, you have to get that approved through them. And similarly, Reserve Bank also itself has an innovation hub in Bangalore. Now, by that type of AI-based various innovation, and they will have a better edge when it coming to the financial sector or your insurance tech everywhere. They also have an innovation hub or sound box. Similarly, SEBI has got. Now, all of them are promoting the fintech, and fintech per se will become a collaborator. You have heard now, even co-lending. All of them need a fintech. Without that, both NBFC and a bank, there should be an inner somebody, either your own technology or somebody. But if it is AI based, it will, because the turnaround time, decision making has to be faster. If the traditional lending with the co-lending, that will not work. So, who are going to adopt this emerging technology, including Gen AI, they will be the reaping the benefits in that. And one more thing is AI can bring predictive analysis, because in all that, that asset quality can be analyzed through the predictive analysis and see what are the probability of default. That is a very important. Ultimately, if you don't have that, you will not be able to have your further lending also. Otherwise, I'm closing now.
Yes, so just to add on to what Mr. Nikhil and Mr. O'Neill had said, and just to answer the question of the other gentleman as well, I think it's very important that before you embark on a particular project of AI, and that too as new and as unpredictable as a subject that we are all embracing, it's very important that we define the expected outcomes and make it as a pilotable project, actually, so that we are able to at least see what is the result of that pilot activity before we actually implement it across the organization.
Because every CTO or somebody है ना, every organization में जाते इधर 2 साल है, दूसरा 2 साल अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, एवरीवेयर एक नया लाते हैं, बाय द टाइम उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव और आउटकम आने के तक उधर से भागेगा. तो इसलिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, कंटिन्यूटी. सॉरी फॉर नॉट दैट. व्हाट आई वांट टू नो, एनीथिंग इन्वेस्टेड, it should get medium and long term benefits. So wish you all the best, and give a big hand to our speakers, and we are all grateful to the organizers, that is Bharat, Dr. Anupam Gupta and others.
Ashish and
yes,
Mr. Vaibhav and
Srivastav and all, for giving us an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'll request all of you to please kindly wait on stage, and I'll request all of you to clap loudly, ladies and gentlemen. The first panel of the day, the editorial panel. मैं बुलाना चाहूँगा stage पे वैभव जी को to please kindly give away the token of appreciation for all our esteemed panelists over here. Thank you so much, and like I would truly like to believe, we would have wanted it to go longer. I am charging them, sir. Bharat ka charger ban ke main abhi karta hu. All of you, everybody over here, on a countdown of 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's how it is. This is the zamana of fast charging. आप लोग देखो एक क्यू से कैसे fast charging हो गया. क्या बात है. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you. You know what we can do is once all the token of appreciations are given, you can do the photo then of all of them together. मैं आप सबको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा प्लीज यहाँ पे सामने आके एक ग्रुप फोटो के लिए इफ यू कैन ऑल पोज टुगेदर फॉर अ नाइस ग्रुप फोटो ओवर हियर right in front. Ladies and gentlemen, when the group photo is being taken, let's show some more energy in the house, please. On a countdown of 1, 2, and 3. Yes, people at the back. Can I have some more participation and appreciation from your end? Thank you so much.